If you want to just the entire video in very little time, it is this.
Number one, women are more prone to injury and post-workout pain as compared to men despite exercising and moving so much lesser and at a much lower intensity. Number two, women being emotional creatures, we store a lot of our tension in the area between our chest and our ass. Ironically, it is this frame that actually defines our hourglass anchors. When your hourglass anchors are not prepped to move properly, leave alone looking attractive, no matter how much money you spend on food, fashion, gym trainer, everything, you will not even be able to perform the rest of your bodily functions properly. And number three, because the hourglass anchors of a woman look and perform so much differently as compared to that of a man, you will need to prep them entirely differently, because if you do not, you will over a course of time deteriorate the way I keep falling. If you're okay with all of these points and living, great. But if not, let's go.
You're probably wondering why I'm wearing a kneecap. For me, it's a reminder of what it takes to move while carrying a woman's body. Now, these aren't accidents, they're just patterns. And most of them didn't come from training harder, they actually came from warming up wrong. You see, as women, we aren't really built symmetrically. We're built around curves, anchors, and contrast. A chest above, hips below, and constant motion trying to happen in between. You know, the hourglass we romanticize and desire so much, well, it doesn't just perform on aesthetics and fashion alone. It's prepared before it's pushed, protected before it's tested. What looks graceful on the outside is supported deliberately on the inside. Girls, warm up for us isn't just caution, it's confidence in motion. No mobility ages the body faster than time. It steals posture and fluidity and quietly just disconnects you from how confident movement should feel. As kids, we fell all the time and we got back up without any fear. Not because our bodies were perfect, but because they felt prepared to move. Somewhere along the way, I guess we stopped protecting that readiness. Staying ageless is not really about being protected or avoiding effort. It's about keeping movement familiar, playful, and prepared, because girls, that's what warming up as a woman really means.
Hi guys, मेरा नाम ईशा है और आज हम बात करने वाले हैं about the basics of warming up, but specifically as a woman. Meaning, what do you do differently if you're a busty girl? What do you do differently if you're suffering from PCOS, hormonal bloating, weight gain? What is it that you do differently if you're facing a lot of emotional tension, weight, pain, bloating and everything else around your lower body, hips and pelvic area? I don't really think your trainer will be very comfortable talking to you about, because it will just be awkward. So without wasting any more time, let's go. You know, a woman's warm-up doesn't even necessarily have to be complicated. All you have to do is create like a 4-word filter, which is PLOT. Once all the movements pass through these 4 alphabets ka filter, you can just assure to yourself that your entire system has woken up. You have no stiffness in your body. Most importantly, your hourglass anchors are completely activated. And of course, to avoid injuries and further pain, all your joints are entirely tension free. P stands for pulse. This means gently increasing your heart rate, your pulse and your blood flow so your body knows it's time to move. L is for levitate. This means raising your body temperature so movements feel smoother, lighter and less stressful. O is to open up, which literally means opening the most bonded and stagnant part of a woman's body, your chest and your hips. T is to turn on muscles and joints that help you move in real life, like your glutes lifting your body up from a chair against gravity with support from the rest of your body. That's it. As long as you're doing these 4 alphabets ka filter for any of your workouts or everyday movement, you are sorted with regards to warming up. So plot gives us the foundation, but no 2 women carry the same body, goals or challenges. You might be busty and trying to build strength because your back is taking the load. You might be losing weight but want your bust or your glutes to keep their shape. Or you might have hormonal or hereditary issues like I did that make movement harder the moment you start. So when the problem is complex, the solution has to be broken down. And you know, which is why I am actually a bigger believer of sharing directional guidance as compared to just saying ki step 1, step 2, step 3. Thing is, throughout your life and definitely in your fitness journey, you will be facing different challenges at different times of days, week, month, years. At this point of time, instead of just falling back on a certain template which was told to you or just looking for a new one, if you know your directional why very strongly, you will be able to navigate through differently. So yeah, in all my videos, I will actually just tell you that if you do rotational movements, it does this. If you do side or vertical, horizontal, it this. अभी उसके अंदर आपको इसको कैसे customize करना है, that you can decide for yourself. First is the silhouette zone. Remember in my chest lift video, I said that your neck, collarbones and shoulders is the hanger of your whole body. If this hanger is aligned, posture, hourglass and confidence fall into place. If it collapses, everything else just follows. That's why we start here. Free the silhouette first and the rest of the warm-up actually works. First is the neck wake up, the skincare hybrid. Girls, if you already wash your face or do a little bit of gua sha, just extend that ritual to your neck. Take a drop of oil, enough to glide and gently press upwards from neck to jaw. Sweep across the neck and if you have the time, all the way down to the collarbones as well. Next are the neck circles and jaw activation. Neck movement honestly is pretty simple. Gentle yes or no. The slow moon-like circles, small to wide. The range doesn't matter, the softness does. Now at jaw activation. Jaw activation is basically just making sure that this bit moves beyond the range that we do for talking. So for this, you just need to do this. I know it looks a little scary, but if you notice carefully, all the muscles, the tentacles that fall from here up till to the time, the place where we develop the double chin because of just staring at our phones like this all the time, they all move, see. You'll feel the under chin and neck muscles switch on immediately. Next is the bird flutter. Girls, this is a dancer's chest opener, not really a gym move. Arms soft, lifted like wings. Just let them float down and around in a slow 360-degree rhythm through the chest. This works really well for us because we live in bras and chest compression. As the chest opens and shoulders soften, the collarbones naturally lift and spread. That's why this instantly makes your upper frame look taller and lighter. So guys, this exercise actually cares about this only part of our body that nobody feels the need to warm up, but you have no idea what you're actually abandoning, our armpits. Girls, holding your arms wide overhead creates lift without force. Take a stick wide and move it in a full 360. The chest opens upwards, the shoulders sit where they're meant to, and the upper body feels lifted instead of compressed. Women spend most of the day with arms pulled inward. That space is not really cosmetic. It's the gateway between chest, back, and arms. Waking it up lets the arms move more freely, takes load off the neck and shoulders, and lets the upper body work as one solid unit. Next, we talk about our bust and the rib cage. Girls, remember in my 12 gym girl problems video, I said this clearly. Women warm up differently because of our heaviest anchor points, meaning the chest always stays closed. Whether you're busty or not, the problem is the same. Busty girls live in armor-like bras with constant compression. Less busty girls collapse inward even faster. Different bodies, same result. Basically, the chest just stops moving. This area needs warm up for 3 objective reasons. First, your ribs are basically controlling the rest of your chest and your breathing. Second, your chest is controlling your entire posture, meaning the hanger. And third, your boobs add weight. If you do not keep freeing them as much, then God bless your shoulders and your back. First are the blooming breaths. Place your hands on the ribs. Breathe outward and sideways into your hands. Let the ribs expand, pause for a second and then soften on the exhale. When the ribs move well, everything above looks better and everything below moves better. Next is the heart lift. Interlace your fingers behind you and gently lift your hands back as your chest lifts forward and up. Think creating space, not pushing anything out. Next is the knuckle halo. For this, take the same logic and add motion. Cross your knuckles on top of your head and draw slow circles clockwise and anti-clockwise. Think of your ribcage moving into a soft halo under your chest. This stretches the side boob, under boob, ribs and all the zones bras compress and freeze. Next is standing backward wall chest opener. Stand a little away from a wall, feet grounded. Now with your arms, just push your face towards the wall backwards. Gently lift your chest and lean back. even if it is for a few inches. You don't really need to go all the way down. The magic is in the angle. This puts your body in a position it almost never sees. Most of our day is spent folding forward. Phones, desks, bras. This one move reverses all of that and reminds your chest how to open again. Next is our invisible support system, meaning the back. Remember in my recent back workout video, I said that the front of your body is only as good as how solid your back is. Just like a bra holds your front, but the real support, the hooks, sit at the back. Your back is the safety pin of your whole body. It literally holds everything together. And for women, this matters even more because our anchor points, the chest and hips, are naturally bigger and heavier. So the back does more work by default. That's why warming up your back is non-negotiable. Once your back switches on, your whole frame switches on. First is a cat and cow. Girls, you need to do this exercise but with intention. Meaning, you need to push your neck forward and your hips backward, but a little bit with more aggression and high pressure. Strong range, but make sure there's no jerking. You see, women's back gets stiff from carrying all the load, stress, and hormones, not weakness. Cat and cow restores this movement through the whole spine and helps the body move as one solid unit again. Next is the downward dog. For women, tension builds at both ends of the spine, chest above and hips below, and settles at the tailbone. Downward dog gently untucks the tailbone and lengthens the spine from both ends. Soft knees are fine. Focus on space. Don't really look at the range, and definitely not perfection. When the tailbone frees up with all the pressure that comes by, the back feels lighter, better stretched, and prepped for work. Next is the cross-body sway. You need to come onto all fours for this. Slide one arm out on the side, then sweep it under your body to the opposite side. This almost fan-like movement opens up the mid-back, bra strap line and ribs. Depending upon the opening and the stretch that you need, you can totally soften, widen or make it more intentional. We'll finish with the tailbone circles. This is one of my favorite warm-up moves because this is literally hula hooping without the hoop.
So tailbone circles matter. They warm the lower back and unlock the pelvis. This is not for the delicate. You need to press into the movement. Let the tailbone draw the circle slow and weighted. For women, this prep is essential before loading the spine.
Next, I'm going to cover the legs, girls. Girls, I don't really think any of us needs any explanation or more reasoning to realize that our lower body desperately need to follow the plot template and be able to prepare better for everything else so that cellulite and all wrong things including stubborn fat does not hold on to it. Weight, load, hormones, emotional holding, it's all stored in the lower body. If the legs are cold, heavy or stiff, nothing above them moves well at all. Your hips won't open, your back will compensate and your knees will be gone for good. So personally, I actually train legs for like almost 60 to 65% of like my weekly workout. That's how much emphasis I lay on my lower body because I've been training a little too hard and because my lower body's always been ridiculously strong and sturdy. I am able to do so much. Having said that, you see what best works for you, but yes, on scale of how much difference you want to make to your body, it will definitely need to be more than 55 to 60%.
Start with simple leg swings from front to back, easy and rhythmic. This wakes up your legs without forcing any range, and it also tells your nervous system that it's safe to move. Just rinse and repeat and make sure that you follow this entire movement for the other side as well. Next is the bird flutter equivalent for lower body by creating semicircles with our leg in the air. Here you're gently opening the hip capsule. Next, keep the toe on the ground and then draw circles. This requires a lot more upper thigh control, so make sure that you do it slower. Next, we lift the knee and make semicircles again. This opens the inner thigh and the side hip or the adductors. Here's where most of us hold all our tension. Toe touches with different foot placements, narrow, wide, turned out. Here your hamstrings start to open up, blood circulation improves, and this is so versatile. Depending upon where you feel tight the most, you can adjust your feet accordingly. Remember, in any hinging movement, keep your back straight, your hips pushed back and your knees soft. Never collapse into the stretch. Next, we move to the Cossack squats but taken gradually. See, if you're a beginner, take support. A pole, a handle, widen your stance, shift pressure side to side and slowly then work towards sitting. Like this. Go down with support, shift pressure between both feet, feel where the legs and glutes connect and then stand up smoothly without any bit of jerking. Once your body starts to feel safe this way, that's when you add the bar. Move slower with the deeper squats when you warm up, spending more time pressing the glutes downwards because that's what actually warms the tissue. We finish the leg warm up with the pocha walk or the animal crawl. Girls, this fires up your adductors and your upper thighs and brings strength into the lines that protect your knees. Graduate to this slowly because warm muscles respond way better than the forced ones. Girls, if opening the legs has always felt difficult, awkward or uncomfortable, imagine what not opening the hips does to our bodies. Lack of movement here shows up everywhere. From digestion, bloating, lower belly, tight thighs, cellulite, chronic tension, etc. First is the butterfly pose. Girls, bring your heels together and closer to the pelvic area, letting the knees fall open while the spine stays long and supported. There's no forcing here. Just remember to create space where the hips have been holding tension for too long. Soft hips move better, heal better, and age better. From here, lift into a downward dog. Lengthen the spine, press the floor away, and let the hips rise and open gently. Then sink yourself back into a child's pose. Press the hips outward and breathe into the sides. This decompresses your hips and releases the tension we don't even realize we've been holding on for so long. Next up, settle into the prayer squat, letting the knees press gently outward. Feel it open the hips and sculpt the inner thighs and your underbutt. This pose wakes up the rarely used muscles, helping lift and tone the lower body while adding subtle strength to the core and the pelvic floor. Every gentle shift and press shapes the legs and your glutes while encouraging balance, stability, and graceful posture throughout the entire body. And ladies, for our last move, get into downward dog position, then step one knee forward into the half lizard pose. Let your hips open naturally, feeling the stretch travel through the inner thighs, hips, and your glutes. This awakens tight areas, lengthens your hip flexors, and adds elasticity to your lower body. It's a subtle sculptor, loosening tension, enhancing posture, and shaping the legs and glutes beautifully, all while improving circulation and connecting the body in a fluid and a very graceful way.
Okay, this time I have to get it right, otherwise the security is going to throw me away. So guys, ये था मेरा video about warming up as a woman. I really hope आपको मेरा video पसंद आए और मेरे सारे directional tips आपको आपकी fitness journey में help करे. Remember, every time you look up the word warm up, there will be thousands of videos trying to tell you कि उनका way is the best way. But as long as you know that you will have to try things consistently multiple times, I think you will be home. I have one more video scheduled for 2025. I really hope I'm able to deliver it before this year ends. Until then, you think I'll sit in this? We'll find out. I'll see you soon. Bye.